Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending our most recent or our latest point of the plate session that the Baseball Alberta Umpires Committee is putting on. This session today is in regards to how to get assigned games. For those of you who do not know me, I am Jeff Chipley, and I am the communications portfolio lead for the Baseball Alberta Umpires Committee. And joining me this evening is Graham Grider, who is our new game and provincial championship portfolio lead with the Baseball Alberta Umpires Committee. Graham, thanks for joining us this evening.
No problem. My pleasure. Looking forward to walking everyone through how to use Arbiter and what to expect this year.
So I do see a few familiar faces on the call today, but I also see a fair number of newer umpires that have joined us on our point of the plate today, Graham. So hopefully over the next few minutes, we're able to give them an overview on how to utilize the Arbiter system and be successful in being assigned games moving forward into the baseball season. So Graham, if you want to take it away, we will have a bit of a screen share on a how-to on Arbiter as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Chip. Just so that everyone's aware of what Arbiter is and what the point of it is, this is how you'll be assigned rep baseball games and provincial championships this year and going forward as of now. So what that means is, so anything for 15U AA or higher in terms of rep baseball league, you will get through Arbiter. If you're a new level 1 umpire, you may not see too much through Arbiter this year. You may see that through your local assigner. So before we get carried away with Arbiter, let's talk about that. So as you enter the umpire program, your likely first year of baseball will be doing community league or ERBL or house league. And that's all assigned by your local assigner. If you don't know who that is, you need to get in touch with the association or where you took your clinic, and they will link you to that person. And that's the person that will be giving you games. So if you're looking for games and it's your first year and you don't know who to talk to, reach out to your local assigner and, your local association, and they will direct you in the spot that you need to be. So make sure that you're working games. If you have not gotten games or you're unable to, your association is not getting back to you, please reach out to myself or someone in the office, and we'll make sure to put you in contact with the right person. We want to make sure that all level 1s are working games their first year and hopefully getting enough games to fill their plate in as many games as they need. I know there's lots out there, and hopefully we can even get you a potential provincial assignment at the end of the year if you're been working hard. As for the rep and above, let's dive into Arbiter. So as you complete your clinic and you get registered with Baseball Alberta, you should get a welcome email to the email that you signed up with at your clinic that will welcome you to Arbiter. When you get to Arbiter and you log in, you will see the page that Jeff is showing right now. This is your main page or your welcome page. A couple of key things to keep in mind here is the announcement. So usually this gets updated at the beginning of the year, and you can see I've already updated this one here. The big things that we want to make sure we're always doing is updating our profile. So in doing that, you can see on the top tab there's main, schedule, payments, blocks, lists, reports, and profile. Profile is where you go to update your address, your email, your phone number. We want to make sure that's accurate. Reason being is that will show where you're getting games in terms of location, so that if Chipley here has Wetaskiwin as his home city, that'll show up when I see him as an assigner or your assigner sees you. And we want to make sure we're not sending you to games in Fort McMurray because that would obviously be a problem. Second thing is contact information, not only so that the assigner can get a hold of you if need be, but also your partner. When you're assigned to a game and let's say you can't find out where your partner is, or it's a couple minutes before and you want to make sure they're still coming, or the day before, and you haven't worked with this person before, you want to make sure that we're reaching out to them to confirm where you want to meet them, what time they're going, and make sure everyone's on the same page. So that's only available if we update our information. If we head back to the main page, once we have updated our profile, the next thing that we want to do is click ready to be assigned. So there's that big blue box at the top there. We want to make sure that is checked off if you're ready to be assigned baseball games. If that is not checked off, assigners will not see you in their list and they cannot assign you games. We need to make sure that's checked off if you're ready to work baseball games. If you're in a position where you've been hurt or you're taking time off for whatever reason and you don't want to put it in your blocks, you can uncheck that box and that will make it so that no one can assign you. It's probably a good idea to let your assigner know if there's something like that going on, especially if you've been someone who's been reliable and been working games. But that's a quick way to take your name off the list in the short term. Provincial assignments this year will also come out on Arbiter, so keep an eye out for that. But it'll be the Friday of the weekend. The weekends this year that will be seeing provincial championships are July 21st, July 28th, and August 4th. So there's 3 weekends of provincials. Do your best to please keep those open. Hopefully we'll get you assignments sometime in June and July, or early July, sorry, and be ready to rock and roll with provincials. So let's walk through Arbiter a bit. So after you've clicked ready to be assigned, you've updated your profile. The next most important thing is to go to your blocks. So again, up at the top there, about the third one in, we'll see blocks. So here's where we can rip through a schedule. So the best thing to probably do is if you're playing, if you're coaching, if you've got other sports, if you've got a date night planned, you want to click the block all day button on the left-hand side option. And all you have to do now is if Jeff has, let's say he's got something on April 20th, he just has to click on the 20th. And now he's blocked the entire day. So that means that he cannot be assigned games. This is really important to do if there's a certain night of the week where you've got something going on for whatever reason and it's consistent. If you're out of town for a weekend, it's important to do that. So that way that the assigners have full visibility of your schedule and they're not going to get games declined. A lot of assigners will plan based on a schedule or an area. So when they go to assign an area and then they get a bunch of games coming back declined, it really causes headaches and sometimes they got to reshuffle the entire schedule. So please, please, please update your calendars. Season starts April 28th, 29th, 30th. So anything beyond that, let's make sure that we have our calendars blocked in as much as possible. It is possible to block a part day. So this is important, especially on weekends. If you're not available, say Sunday morning or Saturday morning or Saturday evening, on the time range on the top left, you can change the time that you're not available from. So if you're not available from, call it, pick a time there, Chip, yeah, noon till 5, yeah, that's fine, or 6 or something like that. Then you can click on the Saturday. So if he wants to click the 22nd, now we've got a partial blocked, and you can see from 12 to 5:30, we will not be able to assign games. So again, really important. If you're only available to work half a day on Sunday for whatever reason, please get that in there and let us know. There's lots of times where we need guys to plug holes in just afternoons or just mornings. And so if that fits into your schedule, we'll make sure that we get you a game. Don't worry about weekday during the day. If you're in school or you're working, just block the full day if you can't work in the evening. It's not too often we have weekday games. And if we do, we'll address those at that time. As for now accepting games, what will happen is as a game gets assigned to you, you will see it come through into your schedule. So your schedule is the second tab up top. And so what'll happen is a game will come through, and what I'll do here quickly, I'm going to assign Jeff a game. And you can see kind of how this happens live. So I'll just pick a game here. There's this one. If I put that. So if Jeff wants to refresh, This should come through here in a second. There you go. So now you can see on Tuesday, the May 23rd at 7:30, he's got a senior AAA game that's come through the system. What you'll see here is there'll be an accept or decline on the right-hand side. As soon as you see games come through, the quickest you can get a response back, the better, especially if you cannot work it for whatever reason and you failed to put in a block. That gives the assigner more time. If you know you can do it right away, check it off, get it out of the way, and then it's done. So if Jeff clicks accept, page will refresh. Now, oh, he's got his whole schedule there now. So that's how we accept games. And the same space, if we have to decline, that's how we decline. If you go and you look at that senior AAA game, you can see that he was assigned as the plate umpire. You can see where it's at. You can see what teams are in it. And it'll all organize based on dates. So as you work down your schedule, you can see that. If you click on the game number, it'll take you. And so this is where that contact information really comes in handy. So you can see that there's been no partner assigned at this point. But if there was, you'd be able to see if they've accepted, if they've seen it yet, if they haven't seen it yet, and you'll see all their contact information. Do you have one with contact information there? Perfect. Yeah. So here's one for its clinic, where you can see that Jeff is working with Chris. And you've got Chris's email and cell phone number, and you can also see the assigner. So if there's something that comes up and you've got to get out of that game last minute for whatever reason, you've got your assigner's information there as well. That's about it that I've got right now in terms of the quick need to knows. Is there anything else that you're thinking of, Jeff, that I'm missing?
Yeah, so some of the big key things in terms of the schedule is when you get that game assigned in Arbiter, you're going to get an email notification from Arbiter saying that there's new games available in your account. If for whatever reason you have to decline a game, you might have forgot that you have a baseball practice or your own baseball game or something else going on, and you have to decline, there is a little pop-up that pops up when you do hit decline, where it's going to ask if you'd like to provide a reason to provide a reason. It is helpful for the assigners on some of those in case there's a bit of an issue, such as you've been assigned a game in Edmonton and you actually live in Camrose and can't get to Edmonton for those games. It gives kind of the assigners a note moving forward. Also, when you do decline a game, the system will automatically block you out for that date so that you're not going to be assigned games on that date. So it's not like you're going to get endless amounts of assignments. A couple of the questions, Graham, that we have received is, when should umpires expect to be getting that link to Arbiter?
So that link comes through once the office has input you into the system. So after you finish your clinic, after a few weeks, if you haven't seen anything, please reach out, especially as we really approach the beginning of the season here. But you should see that email come through shortly after you've taken your clinic.
Yeah, and then the other question is just to kind of reiterate to folks, for some of those house league levels or 11U AA, 13U AA, those are being assigned by the local associations and they may not necessarily utilize the Arbiter system, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So that's I said it off the top, and I'll say it again. If you're a level 1 or level 2 umpire who has been working community league, and that's something you want to continue to do, please get in contact with your local assigner or local association if you don't know who that assigner is, and they'll be sure to assign you games, be it 13U rep, 13U AA, 11U AA, or community league baseball. The one thing, sorry, Chip, I just saw it here, is the baseball provincial championship. So this is a kind of how it'll come through as I get through. It's at the bottom of Jeff's screen here. You can see it's the 28th. It's labeled baseball provincial championships. The site is to be determined. So as soon as that gets filled in, that'll get filled in, and then the level is the home team. And so that's how you'll see it come through. You'll be able to see your full crew just like you would on any other assignment as that comes through, but it's only the Friday. So please just accept if you can work the weekend, and then we'll rock and roll from there with provincials. But that's how your provincial assignments will come through this year, is all through Arbiter.
One of the other key things within the Arbiter sports system is if you do go to the list area and you're wondering about an umpire that you might have met at a game or was mentoring you and you want to find their contact information, it's all located within the Arbiter system. And for some of those umpires that have worked Alberta baseball for several years, such as our level 3s that are returning to the program for subsequent years, might not necessarily go to a clinic, you'd be able to find those individuals' contact information on the Arbiter website. So if I wanted to find Graham's contact information, obviously I'm going to search his last name, and just a quick little check, and I've got everything that I need to know about Graham Greider from a Baseball Alberta standpoint.
So the one other thing that we want to touch on is how to be in the good books with an assigner. And the short answer is to be available. If you're not getting games and you are available, reach out to them and let them know, hey, I'm available, I want to work. Don't feel like you're bugging them. That is the best bugging that you can do, because any assigner will tell you the biggest headache is trying to find guys that are willing to work and ready to work. So I see a few Flames fans out there. I'm also a Flames fan, unfortunately, and I've got a lot more time this spring than I was hoping for. So yeah, so why not work some more baseball? I don't have too much hockey to watch in the evenings anymore. So if you're be the squeaky wheel, if you're not getting games, it's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only way that you're going to make money, which is, I'm sure, a lot of us are here to do. So don't be afraid to reach out to your assigner and say, hey, I can work more. And if you're getting overloaded, let them know. But being in communication with your assigner is never a bad thing. The way to be on the bad list is to decline games and not have your blocks in. I can tell you from experience that if, as the season gets busy and you get frustrated, if there's a certain name on there that you know is more likely to decline that assignment than accept it, guess who's not getting the assignment? So please have your blocks updated, and that's how you become your assigner's best friend.
Yeah. So one of the questions we do have, talking about kind of being the assigner's best friend or getting in the good books, kind of ties to provincial championships, Graham. So when we go about assigning provincials, we know provincials are across the entire province. Do we assign those provincials by geographic area and just use the local umpires in that area for provincials? Or do we move umpires around? For example, do we bring umpires from Edmonton down to Lethbridge for a provincial? Or how does that look in terms of the various provincials we have in Baseball Alberta?
Yeah, so a little bit of both. So there's, with some of the depending on the weekend and what level the baseball is, local definitely plays a role. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the 3 weekends of the year where Baseball Alberta gives us more of a pass on the mileage bill. And so we're going to send people to tournaments. So if you've been working hard all year, you're going to get rewarded with a decent provincial. And if you're a level 1 or level 2, our goal this year is to make sure that you're there with someone who can mentor you and help you develop as an umpire. So it's not just going to be you and 2 or 3 other people your similar age or similar level. Hopefully you're there with a level 3 or someone who's been there before that can help give you some tips to advance you through the program. So a little bit of both. So that's the nice thing about the provincials, and hopefully the more notice we give this year will allow that to happen. Sometimes short notice makes travel tough, but if we give you a few weeks notice or a month, hopefully we can make some of this happen and get some more mentorship going on out there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know that's a very key thing with our provincials, is it's an opportunity for some of our umpires that don't necessarily work with each other throughout the year to work with each other and have that mentorship opportunity where some of our more experienced officials can mentor some of our younger officials, such as some of the ones on this call. Just a reminder for everyone, if you have any questions on kind of getting assigned games or the arbiter system, feel free to put them into the chat, and we're more than happy to answer them in our session this evening. Graham, question that has came through is for some of our brand new umpires, our first year umpires, our level ones. What levels of ball should they be expecting that they're going to be assigned? And is that mostly going to be coming through those local associations, or is there an opportunity they might get a Baseball Alberta game or two kind of at those higher levels?
Absolutely. Both. So I think to start, and as you first get going in May and maybe early June, it'll probably be mostly community league ball, maybe some 11U AA, maybe some 13U AA. But that doesn't mean that when the community league season ends in June that your season is over. There's definitely potential in July to potentially work some 15U AA, and there will absolutely be a provincial or two or even three for you at the end of that season. So that's those July 21st weekend, July 28th, and August 4th. There is absolute potential that you're going to be working it. This year, we've compiled a list of all, or are in the process of compiling a list of all of the community league assigners, and I'm going to be reaching out to those assigners in June, asking who their most active guys have been and who we want to reward with provincials, because we assign provincials from 11UA all the way up to 18U AAA. So there's a lot of levels in there that would have been working all year that there's a provincial championship for. So if it's something that you're really interested in and you're available, let me know. You can reach out to me at my email with your availability, and we'll make sure that we get you incorporated one way or another after getting some feedback from your local assigner.
For sure that is very key. And those local assigners, especially for our lower levels, are kind of the heartbeat of those communities and are the ones that do also have challenges kind of like at our higher levels of finding umpires for all of those various community league, house league games that are occurring throughout Alberta on that end. Another question that's came in, Graham, is if anyone is kind of having difficulties accessing their arbiter account or unsure if they have a previous arbiter account that they can access, is there a contact potentially at the Baseball Alberta office that they could utilize to get in touch with to help them out?
Absolutely. So the contact there, and Chip, if you could drop it in the chat, Chris's email. So Chris Kushnarik is kind of our umpire coordinator in the office, among other things. He's very busy, so he may take a couple of days to get back to you. But if you've completed your clinic and you haven't seen something come through, there we go. Jeff has put it in the chat, which is awesome. Chris will do his best to get back to you and make sure that we can get you on there. Sometimes it's just a matter of resending the email, and then we can get you rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and kind of signing up for those arbiter accounts, especially when we start getting umpires into the level 2 program. What would be your suggestion, Graham, of the type of email that they utilize to sign up for arbiter? Is it a general school email? Is it their parents' email? What should they utilize?
Use something that you're going to use and continue to use. I mean, you can always go in and change your email, but it's best that you have control of your account. Obviously, if you're younger and your parents want to be involved, that's great, but make sure that they're checking it, staying on top of it for you as well. Ideally, it's something that you have visibility on, so that we don't leave games sitting in there and expiring, because there is an expiry date where we get reports back when people haven't accepted games by a certain date, and then we usually go in and remove them from the game and reassign it. So it's got to be going to an email that you've got visibility on, or it's someone that you trust will keep visibility on it for you. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate again, you've stated that we're going to have provincial championships assigned kind of near the end of June, beginning of July. And what are kind of those big kind of pressure point weekends where we're going to need umpires, not just for provincials, but other games throughout the year?
Yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. Schedules are just starting to come out. There's the all play weekends, which come in on the Baseball Alberta calendar. But that'll be the hit and miss again, depending on your level and where you are and what's going on in your area. We try not to increase travel bills too much during the year. So usually your work kind of in and around your area, which gives us some more freedom at the end of the year to do that. So again, the big 3 weekends that I'll keep hammering home are those provincial weekends. It's July 21st, 22nd, 23rd, July 28th, 29th, 30th, and August 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those are the 3 weekends that we're running provincials, and we need as many people available as possible. Jeff has put the Baseball Alberta calendar. You can see the all play weekends. All play means every single team in the province is playing. I was just in the office today talking to them about scheduling, and we've got a record number of teams this year again. So there's lots of baseball to go around. Again, if you're not getting games and you want games, please reach out as soon as possible so we can make sure that we're filling and using every resource in the province efficiently.
So we don't have any other questions coming in as of yet, Graham. So as we kind of wrap up this evening's session, which will be available kind of on our Baseball Alberta YouTube page later on this week, is there any other kind of nuggets of gold or wisdom that you'd have for some of our umpires and being the assigner's best friend and being successful and being assigned as many games as possible?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, be the squeaky wheel, especially if you're a level 1, level 2. Ask to be mentored. If you find that you like working baseball games and it's something you could see yourself doing for a number of years, ask to get mentored. Your assigner will be more than happy to hook you up with somebody that is a little bit more experienced, hopefully a higher level, has worked some higher ball. And whether they come work on the field with you or come watch you umpire, that's what we want. We want to make sure that those who want to get better and want to be helped are getting helped. We've had a lot of problems with that in the past, and it's a big focus for the committee this year. We've got a whole new portfolio dedicated to it, a revamped, I should say, not whole new. But make it known that you want to be helped, and we'll make sure that we get you that help. And then from there, it's ramped up into working rep baseball, which is where the provincial committee comes in with respect to assigning. And yeah, there's a lot more mentorship available at that level as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know assigners, because I'm one in the central Alberta area, we love when people contact us and say, hey, I'm available this weekend, please give me some games. One last question that came through is mentoring or mentorship assigned through Arbiter as well, or how does that kind of go about, Graham?
Yeah, so kind of what I was just saying, if you've identified yourself as someone who wants to be mentored or wants to be helped or wants someone to come, hey, could you offer me some feedback? Or I'm looking for someone to come give me some feedback. It may, like I said, it may be on the diamond, it may be off the diamond. There's multiple resources available, but you've got to make yourself known. First step would be to whoever is assigning you the bulk of your games, whether it be someone who's the regional assigner doing rep baseball or your local assigner. We're going to try and get in touch with all the local assigners and make sure that they're aware that if they get these emails, to forward them off to us so that we can make sure somebody gets there to see them umpire and help give them some feedback. Chip can testify, I can testify. I wouldn't be where I was as an umpire without the mentorship that I received in my first 2 years of working games. So I didn't get here by myself. If you heard the turtle on the post, I'm the turtle on the post, right? There's a lot of people that help me get to where I'm at. And I know that's the same whenever we have our super clinic. Every single umpire in that room had help somewhere along the line. So if you want that help, make sure you make yourself available and make it known, and we'll get you the help you need.
Absolutely. And it is an expectation of our more experienced and senior level umpires in the Baseball Alberta program to be providing that mentorship to some of our younger and less experienced umpires. So if we know that you want to have a mentor come out to your games, send Graham an email, send myself an email. And by all means, we're going to do our best to get somebody out at those games, whether it's ourselves or one of our other senior level umpires in the province.
Yeah, we got guys everywhere. We can send guys places. There's some money in the budget to do that. It's a big initiative for us as a baseball umpires organization. So.
Yeah, so just checking kind of the chat for any final questions here. I haven't seen anything yet, Graham, but any kind of last words prior to us signing off for this evening?
Thank you in advance again for being available and putting in your blocks and being a part of this season where we've worked with the office on scheduling to hopefully get things running a bit smoother, and hopefully we get everyone more notice on games and provincials, and it's only going to get better from here going forward as we continue to develop the schedule and develop umpires across the province. So thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you out there.
So with that, we are near the end of our session this evening. Just to let everyone know that this session will be on the Baseball Alberta YouTube page. If you want to go back and see some of the tips and tricks on how to use Arbiter, whether later on this week or throughout the season, it'll be available for folks. We do encourage you to also keep a close eye on the Baseball Alberta Umpires Facebook page and Baseball Alberta Umpires Instagram account to see upcoming events and upcoming information, whether it's the next point of the plate or announcements that the Baseball Alberta Umpires Committee is going to make in terms of national championship assignments. And also we've highlighted some of our award winners that have been recognized in our program here over the past few weeks for the great work that they do. A couple of them are on the session this evening. But with that, we thank everyone for attending our Point of the Plate session on how to get assigned games and a how-to on the Arbiter account. Graham and I will stay on for a few moments after the recording ends to answer any questions people may have. But other than that, have a great night, and we hope to see you on the Diamonds this year. Thanks for coming out.